If it's your very first time here, I'm so glad you clicked on my video. I hope that you find it very entertaining, that you like what you see. So what is the bee's nest? The bee's nest, my name means honeybee, and the nest is pretty much all things that mean a lot to me. So you may find me doing workout videos, you may find me painting and doing tutorials, you may find me doing hair tutorials, you may find me dancing, you may find me doing spoken word, or you may find me like I'm going to be doing today, doing Devos. So when I first started this channel back in September, I was like, okay, I know I'm on this live journey. I'm 4 months in now. In December, I'm 4 months in. But in September, I was like, I'm on this live journey. I want people to join me along. And I was like, well, how else can I use this channel to reach others? It is not anything for me in it. I wanted to reach others for God. So I remember praying, I'm like, God, you know what? Help me to use this channel that's going to honor you. Help me to use it in a way that will honor you, that will bring people to you. And so after prayer and spending months in prayer, this dumb phrase kept coming up into my mind. And I'm like, what does it mean? I'm still trying to figure that out. But the phrase was, what's in your wallet? And I was like, when I first heard it, I'm like, okay, God, I know you ain't trying to tell me to get a Capital One card because I don't want that. I'm good. But the funny thing, and I love how God works, is that he kept showing me this verse over and over again. I would see it in different places, whether I was watching Devos, whether I was scrolling on Instagram, when I was watching sermons. And the verse was Proverbs 27:17, which is, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Like, cool, great, I got that. I love that verse. I love it. I understand what it means. But how do I get everybody else to understand what it means, in case they may not know? So after sitting and thinking about it, I thought of an illustration. So one of the things about me, guys, like I said, you're going to learn a lot. I love to box. Ta-da, my bag. Anywho, I love to box, and I love it because it's like when life is beating me down or when I'm having a rough day, it's something about coming home and like hitting this box that makes me feel like $1,000,000. I mean, I feel a whole lot better. I feel refreshed. Now, some days, I know you look at your girl, I don't work out all the time, you can tell that. But some days I could be on this thing for almost an hour. Now, I may not be able to make it up the steps afterwards, but I love to box. It makes me feel good mentally. And working out is good for you mentally, by the way. But I bring all that up to say is, for the most part, boxing is an individual sport. It's a sport between you and your opponent, just like my bag says. And that opponent could be anything. It could be people, or it could be things that are just beating you down. But then I decided to take it one step farther. I was like, okay, I get boxing. And I started thinking about Mike Tyson. Hey, he was called Iron Mike after all. Iron sharpens iron, you know. But I took it even further. When we watch matches on TV, a lot of time the focus is on the two boxers. Who's winning? Who's doing this? But what we don't see is the support system they have around them, the cornermen. So what I wanted to talk to you today about is who's in your corner. So when I looked at the cornermen, and I was like, in case you're wondering, okay, what is a cornerman? What is a cornerman crew? I'm going to insert a picture here. All right. So cornermen, they are a boxer support system. So basically the crew is comprised of a manager, a trainer, a cornerman, and a cut man. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each of those different positions during our time together. So the manager, they're responsible for the day-to-day activities. They're the ones that schedule the fights and handle all the financial arrangements. And, you know, they actually pick the team for the boxer. So they have a pretty important part. Now, this next role is the trainer. Now, we know in life, if we want to work out, if we're like, okay, you know what, New Year's coming up, I want to get in shape. What I do? Sometimes we go to the gym. Sometimes we get a trainer to help us get in shape. If we need help in life, sometimes we go seek a life coach. If we need help with basketball or any other sports, sometimes we seek a coach in that sport. So the trainer is like a coach in boxing. So they work with the boxer. They teach them different techniques, like how to bob and weave and how to block when they're throwing a punch to protect their face. Things like the fancy footwork you see, or, you know, working on their endurance, doing things like jump rope, running, all kinds of things to make sure the fighter can withstand the whole bout, to build up his stamina so he can maintain the whole fight. This person is always seen during the fight on the sideline yelling, kind of watching out, like, hey, watch out for your blind spot. He's coming over here. Watch out for your left. He's swinging over there. You know, they're trying to protect the fighter during the fight. This person also has the power to actually signal the ref if they see that the fighter is in any danger to say, hey, you know what, stop the fight. It's not looking good right now. Next up is a cornerman. Now, the cornerman, you may think, oh, he doesn't have an important position, but he actually does. He actually is there with the boxer throughout the match. So when the fight, before the fight begins in the locker room, this is the person you can see taping up the boxer's wrists and their hand, making sure that everything is intact. So that way, when they go to throw them hard punches, that they don't break anything in their hands or their wrists. Because hey, this is where their money is in their hands. So they have to protect that. This person is always there, putting on Vaseline on the boxer's face, so that way, if a punch happens, it can kind of slide off without breaking the skin. Now, I know some of you guys are out there like, hold up, Vaseline, what? Yeah, no, not all of that. But it's kind of like that in a sense. They want to make sure they protect the boxer's face so they don't get the face messed up or the face doesn't get gushed wide open where blood is dripping. Now, that works a lot of times. Sometimes it doesn't. This person, you can always see him on the sidelines when the boxer at the end of the round, they're on the sidelines and they're like this, sitting on the chair because they're so exhausted. This is a person that's giving them Gatorade or water or something like that, filling them back up with electrolytes so they can get back in there and get to doing what they need to do. The next person is a cut man. That's pretty self-explanatory. Say for instance, you're in a fight, you get hit real hard and your eyes gushing with blood. This person's the one that come up, they bring you to the side, they apply a cool press or either, extra ointment or something that can clot up your blood, or they try to help give you first aid. They provide first aid on site. So that way you can continue to fight throughout the duration of the fight. But I know that it's good for a boxer to have a corner crew, but I also think that it would be good for us to have a corner crew in our life. We need that support system that supports us in our day-to-day and make sure we stay on the right path. After all, the verse does say, iron sharpens iron. So I'm going to go over these positions again. And as I do, I want you guys to be thinking of who or what is that person? So the manager, who's in charge of your day-to-day? Who's working things out for you on a day-to-day? Is it your phone? Is it your friends? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it YouTube? Who's that person? Who's keeping you on track? For me, that person is God. I seek God throughout my day through prayer. I ask for direction and protection. When things aren't going my way, I seek Him because I trust Him. I know that whatever I'm going through, that He has the power to get me out of it. He knows me better than I know myself. So even though I may be going into a battle or a storm, He already seen the outcome of that storm and He knows that I'm going to be okay. So that's who my manager is. Next up is the corner crew, the trainer, and the cutman. That's like the overall support here on earth. So who's in your corner? Is there someone that can keep you accountable? Is it someone that can go with you along day to day during this life? Make sure you're staying on the right path to say, hey, you know what? Don't go there. Watch out, your blind spots. Who's that person yelling that out for you? Who's that thing? I mean, sometimes we follow everybody else and we're like, oh yeah, that's how we're supposed to do things. No, boo-boo, it's not. Do you have people in your corner that are not just yes people to say, oh, you're doing this great and you're doing that great and you're just the best? Or do you have people to call you out when you stink? I know me personally, I got people that just hold me accountable. They call me out. If I'm acting out of pocket, it's like, oh, you know what? You're wrong, boo-boo. You need to get it together. And I think we all need people like that. Because if we're surrounded with a bunch of yes people, we're not going to grow. And I feel like God has gifted each of us differently with different gifts and talents. That when we come together, we're stronger together. We were meant to be in relationship together. Also, thinking about who's in your corner when you're hurt. When someone's hurt you badly and you're wounded. Who's that person that kind of restore you back up to be able to pour into you when you're depleted? Be thinking about that. I mean, sometimes we're that person for everyone else, that it's often sometimes hard for us to find someone to be like that for us. If we don't have somebody like that, maybe we need to pray for that. So basically, I bring all this up to say is that as 2020 is coming to a close, I think it's time for us to do a self-examination. I mean, this year we've been through so much. I mean, just think about the people we've lost. Think of COVID. Think of the social injustice that's been going on. It's just been so much. It can be so heavy at times. Sometimes we just want to keep fighting and fighting and fighting, but we feel like we're fighting a losing battle. Think of who's in your corner. Take that time out to self-examine. Who's around me? Because another scripture comes to mind when I think of that. I think of 1 Corinthians 15:33, which says, do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. So basically, you are who you hang around. You know, a person once told me, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. So who you hang with does have an impact on you. Am I saying that you need to go out and hang with a bunch of holy rollers? No. It's good. We need people that can pour into our life, that can tell us when we're wrong, that can kind of keep us on the right path. But remember, if you're saved, you also have an obligation to be able to talk to people who aren't saved, to be able to lead them along the path, to be able to speak life into them. Am I saying that you have to be the only one in your group following God? No. May not be the best idea, because if you're following people and they're just still out there doing what they want to do, 9 times out of 10, you may end up falling back into some of those old ways of doing what you used to do as well. So, what I am saying is that we all need to pray and seek God for godly counsel. Hey, God, hey, send us some godly people in our life that can actually lead us along the way. And if you hang with all godly people, God, send me someone in my life that I can minister to, that I can pour into. Because as people fill you up and God fills you up, it's not just for you. It's for you to pour out on others. So God fills you up so you can continue to be on mission for Him. So with that being said, that ends our time together. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Like I said earlier in the beginning, I invite you guys to like, click, share, comment, and subscribe. If there's any questions you have, please feel free to drop them in the chat below. If there's any topics you want to talk about, if there's any things you want to see me doing, feel free to drop that down below as well. I love you guys. Make sure you have a nice day. Have a happy new year. And remember to be great.